Hello, viewers, and welcome back. My name is Jose Ignacio, and today we're talking about managing and publishing sponsors for virtual only events. At Stealthywood, we rely heavily on support from our sponsors. In return, sponsors expect visibility, engagement, and ultimately new business opportunities. But in a virtual event, delivering that visibility isn't so simple. Without flashy physical booths and face to face interactions, sponsors can easily lose engagement and attendees miss opportunities to connect. With Odoo, you can create dedicated virtual exhibitor booths and publish them directly on your event website, giving sponsors a place to showcase their brand and interact with attendees in real time. Now, Stealthywood is hosting an online conference for architects and designers, and our goal is to give our sponsors strong visibility and meaningful attendee engagement. So, enough chit chat, let's jump in and see how to make that happen. Here I am inside of the events application. First, we need to head to our settings page by selecting configuration and settings up at the top. So we actually need to enable the online exhibitors option that we have right there. And then once that we do that, we hit save on the far left. So doing this allows us to add, configure, and publish sponsors as exhibitors for any of our online events. So before we continue, it's important to note that in Odoo events, the sponsors who maintain and manage an in-person or virtual booth are known as exhibitors. Now that we've enabled this feature over here, let's set up a sponsor so that they can actually appear as an exhibitor on our event website. So to do that, we're going to go back over to our events dashboard, which we can do by actually selecting our nice little events thing over here. All right, perfect. And then we're going to click on our conference for architects, as I said. So on our event form right here, you're going to notice that we now have a nice little sponsor smart button up at the top. Let's click that. All right, so this event sponsors dashboard shows us a list of existing sponsors for this event that we can manage and add to. We just booked the event and don't have any sponsors yet, as you can see by this nice little happy paper right there. So let's add one from scratch by selecting new up at the top. So typically for one of these new sponsors, we have to manually fill out their contact information. Thankfully, our sponsor, Openwood, is a regular exhibitor at our interior design conferences and events. So we can actually select Openwood inside of our nice little partner field down below. So let's select them now. Boom. Look at that. The fields below and the one above was automatically populated from Openwood's contact, including our sponsor name, as I just showed you, our email right there. We also have a phone and website. Of course, it would be a disservice to forget Openwood's slogan, which is pretty important. So in this case, we're going to be entering that as a nice little funny thing for a home that feels like you. Nice little smiley face at the end that they like to put right there. Great. It's beautiful now. Let's continue by defining how our sponsors should be featured. So we have the event field over here, and that's populated already. So let's move on to our sponsorship level and talk about that. So bronze is the default for all sponsors. However, Openwood is a frequent sponsor, so we don't want to give them the bronze. So we're going to give them straight to the gold. Perfect. So now we also have a sponsor type. Here we specify exactly how Openwood will be featured in our event. In this case, we're going to select online exhibitor to display our sponsor on a dedicated page on our event website, along with an option for visitors to contact them as well. Notice that we also have two opening hours fields right here that we have down below, where we can choose the hours that Openwood's virtual booth will be available for exhibition. And look at how Odoo automatically configures our nice little time zones right there on the side based off of the address of the contact for the sponsor's address. Isn't that perfect? So these hours actually look pretty good to me. So let's take a look at this nice little show on ticket option below. This option lets us display the sponsor's logo on attendees' registration tickets. We love Openwood so much so let's actually show them off every chance we can as a token of appreciation. So of course they're going to be on the ticket. Finally, now that we're done, let's enter a nice description to introduce them to our event attendees. We're going to go down below over here, and we're actually going to tweak Odoo's default one. So right now it says happy to be sponsor. Let's do something kind of cool right now. We're going to use Odoo AI, and let's just rewrite this. Boom, there we go. Love that right there. Makes it really easy for us to do that. So now that everything's set up, let's make our sponsor visible to event visitors. So to do that, we're going to select Go to Website over here at the top. So this page shows us exactly what visitors will see when they explore the sponsor's virtual booth, including, as you can see, the name and a few other things, such as contact information below and our description, which you just saw us AI empower. However, notice at the top that this virtual booth happens to be unpublished, meaning that visitors to the website are unable to see that. So to fix it, you actually just toggle the button over to publish, and just like that, our sponsor is published. Isn't that great? So before showing you what visitors see when they explore the page of Exhibitors, let's make some slight edits to our website to make navigation easier. Once the web editor loads, you want to go over here and select a nice little style tab because we want to make sure a few settings are selected. Specifically, you want to make sure the submenu specifics option is active. This displays a submenu item on our event webpage, making it easier for users to find tracks, exhibitors, or reserve booths as well. And in our case, we also want to make sure that the sponsors one is selected right there, and then we hit save. Perfect. All right, with that out of the way, let's go back over to our conference for architects. And right here, you can see as a nice little submenu option, we have the exhibitors list. And you can browse all sponsors, including Openwood. And our sponsor over here also has a nice little connect button over the logo so that visitors can open their page and contact them at any time during their opening hours. And there you have it, Odooers. With Odoo Events, you can easily manage and create sponsors for online events and give them the visibility that they expect, even where there's no physical booth involved. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Go grab a snack.